Okay, so I was really hyped up for this. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. I was really, really excited. I was anticipating a different kind of experience while reading this book. Uh, I was too hyped. I'm not fully disappointed because there are some good parts in this book, but overall, my thought is that it is a bit overrated, but still, it is a decent read, right? I'm gonna have to say this. First of all, Arthur, which should be our protagonist in this story, is just the most generic, trivial kind of character I have ever read. I mean, there's nothing really to him. And maybe that was the point. There's just he is a typical guy, uh, extremely forgettable. And his friend Ford is isn't quite as bad as Arthur is, but he isn't that well off either. Ford is pretty bad as well, right? There's no the problem with this book is that the characters lack tremendously. They're lack. And another thing, like I was quite interested about this, Hitchhiker's Guide, which is a book. The Hitchhiker's Guide is a sort of encyclopedia that holds all sorts of knowledge, and you think you finally opened Pandora's box. You finally have entered the library of Alexandria. This is a book, a guide that contains, information from all over the universe. And every time we read excerpts from this guide, it's all just stupid lame shit. Right? It's always some sort of joke. Let me tell you about this cocktail. And I get it. It's funny, it's satirical, but it's just after a while it just takes away the tension. You can't take this book seriously. Nobody really dies. I mean, Earth gets blown up, and I don't feel anything. Even even Arthur, after a little bit of shock, just moves on like it's nothing. It's whatever. Uh, you know, Arthur and Ford, I think they were about to die two times in a row, and every time they get saved miraculously. And it's just, yet again, it takes away the tension. There are no stakes at hand. You know, we as readers don't have to worry because after the first time, we understand that they're not gonna get hurt in any way, shape, or form. And again, to characters, I mean, the only character that has any sort of personality that a little bit stands out from the crowd of generic generalization is what is his name, like he has a Pokemon name, like the ex-president, like Beetlebox Beetlejuice or whatever his name is, right? Zaphod Beetlejuice, whatever his name is, right? The guy with the two heads and like he has three arms, whatever. He is the only character that has any sort of character or quirks or something that stands out. Everybody else completely bland, completely one-dimensional. Moving on. The humor in this, okay, the wit, I appreciate it. It's bad. It's good. It's quirky. It's odd. It's witty, right? Sometimes it's satirical. Sometimes it is a bit on the darker side, but it delivers quite often, right? And the humor here is to alleviate the reader because otherwise this story would be stale without the humor. And I get it. There's this comment which defends this book as being, you know, a definition of British humor, being a bit dry, whatever, right? And then we have this robot character, Marvin, or Mervin, whatever. And I thought he would be my favorite because he has this completely resigned, this completely nihilistic outlook. And I thought I would vibe with this character, but after a while, I was just like getting annoyed by this dude because he has absolutely nothing to offer, right? He just makes this. The problem is that he makes these statements in such a bland way that I'm actually not interested in what he has to say, even though what he says is something that I vibe with. He is such a lame-o. He's such a drag. He's such a, every time he opens his mouth and says something, I'm just like, you know what, shut the fuck up, Marvin. Nobody cares what you have to say, bro. Oh my god, you're so intelligent, but you're such a defeatist, or because nothing matters, and I get it, but go to your corner and recharge or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's such a dull character. Which is unfortunate because I vibe with this nihilistic, cynical, disappointed philosophy. But Marvin is just he is lame. He is just this one-dimensional cookie cutter, cardboard cutout. Look at me, I'm such a nihilist or whatever, right? Moving on. And then we get to the main plot, which is there was this species or race of aliens or whatever, and they were, very rich because they were making planets. They were planet designers. And they made this fucking whatever computer, super ultra special, super deluxe computer that's really, really smart, right? And they made this computer to ask it a question and hopefully receive an answer. And the question they pose is, and probably this is the only actually interesting thing that I'm interested in that happens in the book, which is they ask this computer, what's the meaning or the answer to, life, the universe, everything. And the computer is like, yo, hold up, I gotta think about this, right? So they're like, all right, and it takes like 10 million years or 5 million years, a long time. And then finally, these planet designers that are rich, they finally come back after so many millions of years, and then, they ask the computer, what's the answer to life, to the universe, to everything? And the computer says 42. And they're just like, they don't get it. And neither do I. But it was funny, right? So the answer to the universe, to life, is 42. But then we have another interesting prospect, or a different perspective, which is that the question, what is the meaning to the universe, to life, to everything, is not adequate to deserve the answer 42. So now we have the answer, but the question is inadequate. We need to come up with a better question that deserves the answer 42. So this super mega ultra instinct computer is like, listen, in order to come up with the question for the answer 42, I'm gonna have to create an even super duper ultra mega computer that overshadows me, that dwarfs me. And it's gonna take like another 10 million years. And they're like, alright, whatever, fuck it. So this is where Earth comes in, because we find out that Earth, the planet Earth, was actually the ultra mega computer. But as we know, Earth was destroyed by the Vagons, and it would have taken only another 5 minutes for the computer to be complete. So now they are designing another Earth, but now we find out that because Arthur was on Earth, then that means that the software program or whatever, it's still in his brain, and these planet designers, they want to, I don't know, chop him up or whatever, right? And that's about it. Uh, Yet again, there are some interesting aspects to this book. I appreciate the humor, but after a while, it gets kind of dull. there are no real characters here that are in any way, shape, or form impressive. Not at all. Uh, After a while, the humor gets a bit stale. Uh, the epitome of stale being the character Marvin the robot. I'm just like, get this dude out of here, right? It's classic sci-fi with a decent quality of humor, but the problem is, as you read along, you pass the halfway point and you're still wondering, bro, what the fuck is going on here? What's the real plot? What's the real story? What's the real goal? Because we go to this planet that designs other planets and we're just, I don't know, right? It seems that there's no real goal that happens in this book. But of course, it is a perfect example of a book that is that roasts humanity in an intelligent and hilarious way, right? The best part for me was when the dolphin part, where they're like, the dolphins, they were the smartest creatures on the planet Earth, and they were trying to alert humanity that Vogons were coming to destroy it, and unfortunately people misunderstood this as, oh, the dolphins want to do tricks for fish, and uh, after a while, the dolphins were like, yo, listen, thanks for all the fish, but we're out of here, right? That's the funniest part to me, right? And again, I have to say, Arthur, to me, who should have been the protagonist, is just the weakest link in this book, and that might be by design because he is a typical, British character or whatever, a typical character, right? Which is unfortunate, right? Let's just say this: most of the characters, if not all of the characters, lack tremendously. They lack in characters. They lack in personality. They don't make any type of impression, right? They just merge with the background, right? But should you read this book, and I don't really make this type of recommendation that often, but yet I think that yes, most people should read this book because of the intelligent humor and satire. That is, I think, the strongest aspect of this book. Douglas Adams really did an amazing job with this one, right? So that's about it with this book, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Pretty decent, okay? Now, I'm a writer myself. Uh, I got a few books on Amazon. The link will be down below. If you want to buy them and read them, that's fine. If you want to support your boy, go down to Amazon, right? That's about it. Thanks for watching. See ya!